The air is thick with smoke, and the city lies in ruins. Streets that once bustled with life now echo with silence, broken only by distant crashes and the hum of flickering neon lights. Shadows stretch across shattered buildings, moving like whispers of a world that once was. Somewhere in the darkness, something stirs, a sudden flash, metal clashing, glass shattering, and the sense of danger tightens like a vice. Every corner hides a secret, every shadow could hold a threat, and every step could be the last. The fallout has come, and nothing is the same. As the camera glides over empty highways and abandoned cars, the sky above turns with clouds the color of ash, casting the city in a gray, oppressive light. Rusted signs sway in the wind, and a faint echo of footsteps breaks the quiet, though no one is seen. Somewhere, a door creaks open in a deserted building, revealing a glimpse of a map, marked with red symbols, hinting at plans no one yet understands. The tension builds slowly as a distant siren wails, blending with the growl of engines approaching from an unseen direction. A sudden explosion in the distance sends sparks into the sky, illuminating fleeting silhouettes darting between shadows. The world feels unstable, alive with unseen threats, and the sense of urgency grows with every heartbeat. The camera pans to a crumbling bridge, where debris teeters on the edge, ready to fall at the slightest disturbance. The wind carries the faint sound of whispers, unintelligible but filled with warning, and the sense that someone or something is always watching becomes impossible to ignore. Old alliances, long thought solid, begin to feel fragile as quick flashes show symbols burned into walls, messages scrawled in haste, and hints of betrayal that could change everything. Each frame is carefully constructed to keep the audience on edge. A flicker of movement in a dark alley, a shadow crossing a deserted rooftop, a single beam of light revealing the edge of a torn jacket or a glinting weapon, suggesting that danger is everywhere but certainty is nowhere. The visuals move like a heartbeat, fast and slow, mirroring the pulse of fear gripping the city. The camera lingers over objects left behind, a child's toy half buried in rubble, a bloodstained note pinned to a door, a radio emitting static that briefly forms a name before fading again. These small details hint at lives disrupted, secrets hidden, and mysteries that demand attention. The tension is not only in the visuals but in the soundscape, distant echoes, sudden crashes, whispered warnings, and the low hum of the city trying to survive. As the section progresses, the destruction grows more pronounced, showing cracked streets, toppled streetlights, and buildings leaning as though holding their last breath. The camera moves closer to the ground, revealing shattered glass reflecting the stormy sky above, each shard like a fragmented memory of what used to be. The audience begins to sense the scale of chaos, the unseen enemies, the broken trust, the fragile hope lingering in small, fleeting moments. Quick cuts reveal glimpses of characters from afar, their figures obscured, moving with urgency, hiding, searching, or running. Their actions are hinted at, not fully revealed, building curiosity. A hand reaching for a weapon, a shadow stepping over rubble, a glance towards something unseen that causes a sudden pause. The section ends with the camera pulling back to a wide shot of the city, now fully showing the scope of the devastation. Smoke rises in distant parts, flickers of fire dot the horizon, and a low rumble suggests that more chaos is coming. The city is alive, dangerous, and unpredictable. Every visual element, light, shadow, movement works to immerse the audience in a world where survival is uncertain, alliances are fragile, and the fallout is only beginning. There is no safety here, no comfort, only the constant push of tension that sets the stage for what is to come. This opening section primes the audience for the story's escalation, leaving them eager, anxious, and ready to see the hidden threats and secrets that Episode 8 will reveal. Shadows move with purpose now, sharper, closer, and filled with intent. The once silent streets now tremble with signs of life or something that pauses for life in a world teetering on the edge. Broken signs flicker in the dim light, revealing fragments of messages, warnings, or perhaps traps, and every flicker feels like an unseen eye watching. The camera sweeps through narrow alleyways where overturned crates, abandoned carts, and shattered glass create a maze of danger. A faint metallic clatter echoes from a corner. Though no one is there, and the air feels thick with anticipation, each second stretching longer as the tension coils tighter. Rusted gates creak open slowly, revealing dark interiors where glimpses of movement hint at survivalists, scavengers, and possibly enemies, each carrying secrets no one else knows. A faint glow pulses from beneath a collapsed structure, illuminating. Graffiti that seems to pulse with urgency, a symbol, repeated, its meaning unknown but undeniably significant. The wind carries fragments of sound, whispered conversations that vanish when approached, the distant roar of engines, and the sharp snap of something breaking. All layered into a soundscape that feels alive with danger. Every shadow seems to have depth, every corner a potential trap, and the camera lingers just long enough to make the viewer imagine what could be there without revealing it fully. The tension is punctuated by quick flashes, a hand gripping a weapon, a fleeting silhouette disappearing behind rubble, a torn piece of clothing caught on exposed rebar, all suggesting that the unseen characters are moving fast, thinking faster, and surviving by instinct. A low, constant hum underlines these visuals, like the pulse of the city itself, warning of events brewing just out of sight. The focus shifts to the remnants of a larger structure. Walls cracked and leaning, as if barely holding against the weight of time and neglect. The camera moves through corridors that twist unpredictably, shadows playing tricks on the eye, revealing glimpses of maps, coded messages, and scattered belongings that hint at stories left unfinished. Rusted tools lie half buried under dust, while faint footprints suggest that someone or several someones passed through recently, leaving only questions behind. A sudden flare illuminates the room briefly, showing outlines of objects that suggest preparation, defense, or perhaps a trap waiting for the unaware. Outside, the wind picks up, carrying the smell of fire, dust, and smoke, and distant cracks of gunfire echo faintly, hinting at skirmishes hidden from view. The sequence moves like a predator circling its prey, deliberate, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. Quick cuts show glimpses of new territories, rooftops patched together with scavenged materials, underground tunnels carved into the earth, and barricaded entrances that speak of desperation and cunning. Each location suggests a different story, a different danger, yet all connect to the looming threat that seems to stretch across the city like an invisible web. Time feels fractured here. Seconds stretching into what feels like minutes as tension builds, objects become symbols. A shattered wristwatch stopped at a certain hour, a rusted helmet lying in dust, a half-burned photograph pinned to a wall. They hint at lives lost, choices made, and events that have already shaped the path of destruction. Movement is constant, though mostly unseen. Shadows flit along walls. Doors open just enough to reveal a sliver of what lies beyond, and the faint hum of electricity or machinery pulses intermittently, giving life to an otherwise desolate environment. The camera lingers on these small details, drawing attention to what is left behind rather than who is present, making the audience feel the weight of absence and the ever-present danger of the unknown. As the section progresses, the chaos outside intensifies. Flames flicker from distant fires, sending smoke curling into the gray sky, while debris tumbles from crumbling buildings, marking a world in constant motion yet controlled by no one. The soundscape becomes more urgent, the distant roar of engines, the clash of metal, and muffled shouts that hint at conflict yet reveal nothing. Quick flashes of silhouettes on rooftops, shadows in alleyways, and flickering lights in abandoned windows tease the presence of characters moving with purpose, but identities remain hidden. Every element alight, the shadows, the objects, the sounds works together to make the viewer feel as though the city itself is alive, unpredictable, and dangerous. The unseen threats multiply, and with every cut, the audience senses that survival is no longer a matter of skill alone but of anticipation, caution, and instinct. By the end of this section, the tension reaches a simmering point. The camera pulls back to show multiple vantage points simultaneously, a crumbling building from above, a shadow slipping through alleyways, distant fires marking chaos, and a half-hidden tunnel entrance promising secrets below. The city is alive. With movement, danger is omnipresent, and every element of the environment seems to whisper warnings. Nothing can be trusted, nothing is stable, and the fallout is only getting worse. The audience is left with a sense of anticipation, anxiety, and curiosity, fully primed to continue into the next stage of the story where choices, conflicts, and mysteries will collide. Shadows twist and stretch across the fractured city as movement becomes more deliberate, more urgent. The unseen figures dart between ruined buildings, slipping through narrow gaps and climbing over debris with careful precision. The environment itself seems almost alive, testing every step, every decision. A sudden metallic clang reverberates. Every motion, every sound feels magnified. Footsteps echo against broken walls, distant sirens wail, and the low hum of the city's decay underlines the fragility of safety. The unseen characters move with purpose, yet their intentions remain ambiguous. A fleeting shadow pauses near an overturned car, reaching into a bag only to withdraw a small, glinting object, its significance unknown, but heavy with implication. The camera glides across rooftops patched with scavenged wood and metal, showing silhouettes leaping from one structure to another. The height and instability amplify danger. A misstep could be fatal. Yet the urgency pushes them forward. Below, the streets are alive with hints of conflict. Flickering lights reveal glimpses of skirmishes. Smoke curls from hidden fires, and distant shouts suggest confrontation. Yet the faces remain unseen. Quick flashes show details of the world's harsh reality. Torn jackets snagged on jagged metal, blood-streaked walls hinting at recent struggle, and scattered personal belongings, all telling stories without words. These fragments of life and struggle emphasize the human cost of survival, the constant pressure to adapt, and the stakes that are rising with every heartbeat. Suddenly, the soundscape shifts, footsteps become louder, the wind carries the faint echo of voices, and the distant crash of a collapsing structure sends a shiver through the scene. Shadows on walls twist unnaturally, revealing glimpses of movement that may or may not be threats. A crate topples in a deserted alley, sending a flurry of debris across the ground, and a faint reflection of light on a sharp object hints at weaponry without revealing who wields it. The tension is constant, mounting, like the tightening of a spring, preparing for the inevitable snap. Small details create unease. A single shoe lying abandoned, a shattered window framing the dark sky, and a fluttering piece of paper bearing a symbol that has appeared throughout the city, leaving unanswered questions. Every element of visual fragments, the subtle audio cues, and the rapid yet purposeful cut serves to immerse the audience deeper into a world of danger, strategy, and uncertainty. The environment becomes a character itself, shaping every movement and every choice. Collapsing rooftops, unstable scaffolding, and narrow passageways force calculated risks. As if the city conspires to separate the prepared from the careless, shadows dart across walls. Glimpses of movement suggest pursuit, and faint light glints off improvised weapons, emphasizing the precarious balance between survival and disaster. Quick cuts show flashes of hidden tunnels, barricaded doors, and secret compartments, suggesting that every corner holds secrets that could shift power, alter alliances, or trigger conflict. The tension builds steadily as the audience begins to sense that someone or something is always watching, always anticipating. Amidst the chaos, small moments of determination emerge. A hand grips a weapon tightly, knuckles white, while a body pauses in a shadowed corner, seemingly calculating the next move. Another figure moves swiftly across unstable rubble, a faint glimmer of hope or desperation in their motion, though their identity remains obscured. These moments are fleeting yet powerful, emphasizing human resilience and adaptability in a world where the line between predator and prey blurs. The camera shifts between perspectives above, behind, and within the rubble, providing a sense of omnipresence while keeping key elements hidden, maintaining suspense and engagement. By the end of this section, the intensity peaks, shadows converge, unseen movements suggest imminent confrontation, and the cityscape itself feels like it's holding its breath. Flickering fires, distant crashes, and sharp echoes fill the soundscape as tension reaches a near breaking point. Every visual, sound, and movement works in harmony to build anticipation, leaving the audience eager to discover the consequences of choices made, the identity of hidden threats, and the unfolding story of survival, betrayal, and courage. The world is unstable, danger is everywhere, and every moment could alter the fragile balance between life and death, preparing the viewer for the climactic revelations that the next section will deliver. The chaos escalates. Flames flare in the distance, sending smoke curling into the darkened sky, while debris tumbles from broken buildings, each piece tumbling as if the city itself is collapsing under unseen weight. Shadows stretch and twist unnaturally, and the faint glow of fires reflects off jagged surfaces, revealing glimpses of movement, figures moving with speed, purpose, and desperation. Quick flashes show crates toppling, sparks flying as metal collides with metal, and shards of glass catching light for a fraction of a second, each image suggesting conflict, struggle, and hidden danger. The streets, once eerily quiet, now pulse with energy. The distant rumble of engines, the sudden crash of falling debris, and muffled shouts hint at confrontations happening just out of sight. The tension is relentless, each frame designed to make the audience feel the constant threat lurking around every corner. Eyes seem to watch from the darkness. Silhouettes slip across rooftops, shadows blend into walls, and fleeting glimpses of movement suggest both allies and enemies navigating the chaos with caution. A faint glint of a weapon in motion, the snap of an improvised trap, and the soft whistle of an unseen projectile underscore the peril in every step. The camera moves unpredictably over rooftops, through alleyways, into crumbling interiors, giving a sense of urgency, disorientation, and imminent danger. Quick cuts tease the presence of unknown figures whose intentions remain hidden, each moment hinting at betrayals, secrets, and choices that could tip the balance of survival. Objects left behind tell fragmented stories, a bloodstained note pinned to a wall, a shattered radio emitting static with fragments of urgent messages, and footprints leading to a collapsed building that could conceal anything. The environment reacts violently to the chaos. Fires crackle and spread, lighting jagged silhouettes across walls. Rubble shifts with every tremor, and unstable structures threaten to collapse under the weight of unseen tension. Shadows twist in ways that seem unnatural, elongating and retreating in response to hidden movement, as though the city itself is alive and responding to the conflict within it. The soundscape amplifies the danger. Distant explosions, snapping metal, whispers carried on the wind, and a low, almost imperceptible rumble suggesting that the city is on the verge of a catastrophic shift. Every visual and audio cue works to immerse the audience fully, making the danger palpable, the stakes unavoidable, and the unfolding drama irresistible. Amidst this chaos, fleeting moments of clarity emerge. A hand grips a weapon with white-knuckled determination. A shadow pauses on a rooftop, and the faint glint of eyes or reflective surfaces suggests vigilance and calculated action. Quick flashes hint at confrontations and revelations. A figure slipping through rubble, a barrier collapsing in their path, a coded symbol briefly illuminated by firelight, and a fleeting silhouette that could belong to an ally or an enemy. Each visual teases a story without revealing the full picture, keeping tension high and curiosity at its peak. The interplay between light and shadow creates a sense of constant motion, urgency, and imminent risk. As the section progresses, the destruction intensifies. Streets are littered with broken vehicles, overturned carts, and scattered remnants of a once functioning city. Fires flare sporadically, smoke obscures vision, and every structure seems fragile, ready to give way at any moment. Quick glimpses of shadowed figures navigating this environment emphasize the human cost of survival. A fleeting touch of a hand to a crumbling wall, a cautious step over a sharp edge, and rapid, silent movement through hazards that could end a life in an instant. The tension crescendos as visual and auditory cues combine metal grinding against metal, distant crashes, and flickers of fire reflecting off surfaces to suggest that the climax is near. In the final frames, the camera pulls back to reveal a wide shot of the city, a sprawling landscape of destruction, chaos, and danger, punctuated by fires, collapsing buildings, and shifting shadows. Silhouettes move across this ruined environment, hints of confrontation and hidden secrets visible yet incomplete, leaving the audience with questions that demand answers. The soundscape crescendos into a cacophony of tension flames roaring, metal clashing, distant alarms wailing before cutting abruptly to silence, leaving only a lingering echo. The city, alive with dread and uncertainty, holds its breath. Every shadow, every movement, and every element of the environment works together to promise that the fallout is far from over. That the episode will reveal dangers, secrets, and choices that could change everything. The audience is left on the edge, tense, curious, and fully primed for the unfolding story of Episode 8, where survival, betrayal, and revelation collide in a world that refuses to forgive weakness or hesitation. The city is quieter now, but the silence is deceptive. Every shadow seems to shift. Every crack in the wall feels like it could conceal movement, and the faint hum of the air is interrupted by distant, unexplained noises, a metallic scrape, a whisper of footsteps, the faint crack of glass under. Wait, streets that appeared abandoned are now filled with signs of life or something pretending to be life. The camera glides through alleys where debris has piled high. Each pile a potential hiding place, each overturned object a clue to past struggles. Rusted doors swing slowly in the wind, and fleeting beams